What's going on, people? I believe as long as I don't hit that the camera light or whatever, then I think I'll be good. Hold on. I'm gonna come all the way out here. Yeah. So I gotta be careful how I use this camera here, because this camera here, I have to like literally pull the card up on this camera because it's kind of like broke, and it only like it gives good quality. It because the card is something in the card is like it's broke or something. Yeah. So it's literally like it's broke. So let me come on back in here. Yeah. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sit this camera up here, dark any goddamn way. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I don't know if it might go back out again. Yeah. As long as I don't hit up against nothing, I actually wanted it. If I touch the camera, it's gonna make it go off because it's kind of weak. You know. I'm gonna try to see if I can basically film for as long as I could. I don't know why this button. What's up with this button being red over here on this motor? I don't know why that's like that. The broadband is red, but the one at the top is green. As long as it's not jumping that, it's telling me I have a new friend suggestion. Let me see who this is. So I'm gonna have to take care of that when I come back. You know what I'm saying? I got some videos that I want to do. Let me show y'all what. Oops. Yeah, want to make sure I don't touch nothing up in there and water drip on my camera. Hold on, y'all. Make sure it ain't no video where it's music in it or nothing like that, because YouTube is they strict about people putting music in the video. Yeah, they'll definitely they tighten down and stuff like that. So hopefully they didn't hear it in the video too much. Yeah, I don't want to get no copyright with that extra music in there. I mean, I hopefully it got a. I mean, it just and I hear them cut it off because I don't want that in there like that, because they'll turn around and you know what I'm saying. You know how YouTube is. They'll flag your video in a minute. Yes, indeed, man. I'm telling you. Hold on, wait a minute. I'll tell you what. Let me do this right quick. This thing here. I'm wondering why this broadband button um is. I mean, at least the services is still going. You know what I'm saying? But uh, the broadband button over there is. I don't know. It's tripping, man. But thank God that the service of the internet is still up. The TV is still on. Thank God for that. Unless they somewhere working on some wires or something. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just looking through some stuff. Um, I'm just sitting here browsing through Twitter, and I'm not talking about nothing. I know a lot of people are not gonna really click on that video. I mean, this video. Yeah, man. All right, let me probably end up taking garbage out a little bit later on today. I don't too much care for drinking cold water. My water cold, unless it's real hot and it's in the summertime at a certain time. But more than likely, I don't really. Even in the summertime, I still drink it warm. Sometimes it depends. I have to be really hot, but it's you know in order to drink. Now, if I'm sweating or something like that, yeah, I don't mind having it. Yeah, man. I can see. Hold on, wait a minute. On this side, okay. On this side, I can see the stuff on the counter right there with my hand. Right there. Yeah, right in there. Yep, that's where the stove at on that side right there. Yeah, you can see all that stuff in the background. I can even see the back door back. Let's see back there, and then you see the clock, red little round thing, black around the edges and white in the that's right middle. Yeah. So that's something on camera. It looks like it's like further back. Like it looks like it's way. It look like it's long, but when you look at it, and it's a couple of inches, but it looks longer on the camera in the video than it do in real life. Over here, I'm just recording my real life, out here, but on the camera, on the other end over there, it looks like it's longer. Hold on a minute, let me go. Well, the only time I'm gonna see this is when I go back and watch this. Now I can see myself a little bit, but it's hard for me to see it. Then they got the clock up there. That's right, they got the clock up there. And this is okay. Refrigerator, microwave, stove here. And this is all of the seasoning, the sugar, and all that stuff. Now, from going, it looks longer from the back. On the video, it looks longer. It kind of is, but it's not. But it just looked more longer in the blog. Yeah, man, I'm just I'm pretty bored. I'm just waiting on something different. I got some things that I want to talk about, but right now I'm just relaxing right now because I'm just trying to, I guess, trying to want to keep from being bored, just trying to find something to keep myself occupied. That's all, as you can see. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead on and no, I didn't want you to pull up here. Okay, let me get up off of here, bro. All right, yeah, I'm coming. I'm just trying to just create a damn footage. That's all. Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to.
Hi, and thanks for
No. Okay, I'm just sitting here messing around, y'all, man. Wrong shit. Wrong shit. Oh, man, I hit the wrong goddamn thing. Man, I'm wondering how did my boy turn red over here, man, on the broadband. At least the service is working. I'm not complaining of that, but man, that's yeah. Okay, let me. Yes. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Feel tired a little bit. Okay, let's see here. I don't know, man. I'm trying to find me something to get into, bro. Just recording. Matter of fact, I guess I'll give a word and read something. Hey, y'all, I don't agree with everything in this book here, but I found something in here that caught my attention about Christianity. And that's one of the main things I'm going to be focused Christianity versus the God of Israel. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find something here. Why I am a member of the Church of Christ. Why? Now, the Church of Christ, we know that came from. Matter of fact, let's Google that right quick. We got to put something out interesting. Who created the Church of Christ? The churches of Christ are automatics or harmonious Christian congregation associated with one another through distinct beliefs and practices based on their interpretation of the Bible, represented in the United States, and of several branches. That means it came from several branches from different denominations. Arose the world. They believe in using only biblical credence for their doctrines and practices, citing examples from the early Christian church as described in the New Testament. They typically rejected the doctrinal writings that disagreed with their interpretation and religious creeds. The churches of Christ thus identify themselves as being non-denominational. So the Church of Christ developed from. What I'm trying to tell you is that religion is white supremacy. God had never had nothing to do with religion. They took things from the Bible and came up with these ideas and concepts about Baptist, Methodist, Pentecostal, all those things. It means a religious movement. They took things. They actually went back to the original Hebrew Bible and they read it, but they gave misinterpretations. Men who was definitely not inspired by God. They was under the unction of the inspiration of the spirit of Satan, because you have to understand that the devil has people that operates in demonic spirits. You see what I'm saying? That pushes this Christianity doctrine out into the world, and this is where when they enslaved our forefathers and foremothers, they forced our ancestors is to accept this thing called religion. Because if you look at the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, you can look right there in Genesis, for example, 26 and verse 5, and you read about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You'll see nowhere in there. You'll see religion nowhere in there. The Most High God, you'll hear about things reading like this here, because that Abraham obeyed my voice, kept my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. You read things like in Genesis about famine. You read about the famine. You read about things like, you're gonna see something in there about them regenerating and having children. And Jacob, Abraham, and Isaac and Jacob was creating a legacy and generating, and they was having children and stuff. But you ain't gonna see nothing in there nowhere about no religion. Even throughout the book of Exodus too, you ain't gonna read nothing in there about religion. You're gonna see how the other nations persuaded the Israelites is to be like them. You see what I'm saying? So I want to read something to you on page 58. It says, "Why I am a member of the churches of Christ. He stretched out the north over empty space, and healed and hanging the earth upon nothing." Job 26:7. Now, no section ever gave a better description of the earth than this. Isaiah said, "It is he that setteth up on the circle of the earth." Isaiah chapter 40, verse 22. No human being at this time would have spoken of the circle of the earth, for man thought it was faint. No, I'm sorry, man thought it was flat. Jesus, in speaking of his second coming, says that he will come in the day and in the night. Luke 17:31 and 34. For years this was a difficult passage. Men wondered how that Jesus could come both in the day and in the night. The enemies of the Bible claim that it was a contradiction, but the passengers is now easy since men has learned that it is day on one part of the earth, while it is night on the other. Therefore, whosoever Jesus comes, he will come in the day and in the night. This was put, I can't even see that word in the Bible. This was put in the Bible hundreds of years before. Wait a minute, this was written, was put in the Bible hundreds of years before man ever dreamed of such. How are we going to account for it? There is but one answer. The writer was guided by a higher power. Josephus confirmed the truth of the Bible concerning Christ. No, wait a minute. I read that wrong. My bad. I think that's Joseph's confirmed that truths of the Bible concerning Christ. Now, there was about this time Jesus, a wise man, if it be lawful to call him a man, for he was a doer of wonderful works, a teacher of such men as received the truth with pleasure. He drew over to him both many of the Jews and many of the Gentiles. Okay, now people get that thrown off. They think that the southern kingdom, which is Judah, and Jeroboam in the Bible, in first, I think it's First Chronicles. Well, I'm gonna have to look it up. First Chronicles. You talk about Jeroboam is the northern kingdom of Israel. Those were the scattered, the kingdom that was the people, the Israelites that was scattered in other parts of the world, and they started adopting all of the Greek customs and things of that nature because our people was Israelites. They was practicing things outside of their God-given nationality. Let's read this here. In the tribe of the Christians, so named from him, are not exact at this day. Book 18, chapter 3. Thus, this element historian lived about 37 AD to about 100 AD. Thus, he had exempt opportunity to investigate the claim that was made relative to Christ. He was not a Christian and therefore was not trying to establish the claims of Christianity. He was a historian, somebody who was very, I think a historian is something like somebody who's really educated, I don't know. And I believe that's what it is. Let's look up that word historian. Because it's good to know what is a historian.
According to Wikipedia, a historian is a person who studies and writes about the past and is regarded as an authority on it.
Okay, a historian is a person who writes about the past, who writes stuff and studies. He was a historian and was only claimed the claims of Christianity. He was a historian and was only recording history as he found it. Joseph says that Christ lived, that he was a wise man, if it be lawful to call him a man, and that he was a doer of the wonderful works, that that Pilate condemned him to the cross, and that he arose the third day and appeared to his disciples. Thus, the writings of an ancient unchristian historian confirmed the New Testament. The credibility of the Bible is also cooperated by either ancient historians and Gannis and concerning the teachings born about the middle of the first century and died in 117 Philip, the younger 62 AD, 114 and 114 AD. Page 11, I guess. We believe the Bible to be the inspired of God, because no man can improve it. All human works can be improved. Think of the improvements. Think of the improvements that have been made in science, industry, education, in every field. Old books are discarded for improving ones, but a book that was completed about 1900 years ago, centuries to be the world's bestseller. It grace among every home, and its words are on the lips of millions. Tradition has dug for many of Judas has betrayed it with a kiss. Many Peter has denied it with an oath. Many. Okay. No man has been able to improve it or give us a better Bible. Is this not strange? Not at all. It was written by a divine writer. Peter and Jack. Now David, when it talks about David, people, it's only talk. I don't know if y'all got much out of that last part, but it was taught David. When you hear about the Star of David, that's simply talking about the same person, Christ. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop it right here. I'm not going to keep it out too long. I kept it out about 40 minutes and something. Let's see here. 40 minutes. 41, 42. Let's see. Let's go up to, I'm going to say 41 minutes, 40, 41 minutes, something like that. I'm going to see if I can stop it at 41 minutes, something like that. 59.